It's time.
Make some noise!
Bringing the concert to you. It's the Sway in the Morning concert series.
Your favorite artists performing live.
All right. On Shade 45.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Sway in the Morning Shade 45 concert series. Only morning show of its kind that does this have to be.
That's nothing but a fact.
Nothing but a fact, man. We try to stand out. We don't even try to stand out. We do stand out.
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
There's reasons for this, man. When I was coming up in the game, I like to tell little stories, Heather B, especially when we got special guests at first time on the show. One of the things I like about them is they remind me of King Tech and myself when we first started. When we first started, we formed, well, they're a band, but we formed a collective called All City. And in All City, it was about 9 different dudes that we all knew. We didn't know everybody had any type of gifts, but we knew we all had a dream. We all had a goal in mind. There was a guy named Dave Fortune. Dave Fortune said he can sing and he could play percussion, so we put him in a collective.
Okay.
There was a guy named Octaviano who went on to change his name to Aoki Star, who's charting all over billboards in Latin music right now. He comes from the Renegades, which was the B-boy crew in Northern California, so when we used to break, he was part of that crew. We put him on. He said he could sing, so he could sing. There was a man by the name of Anthony Russell who was from the South Bay. You know Anthony Russell, Heather B. He was a businessman. We put him a part of the crew. There was a guy named Rick who played keyboard. He taught himself how to play keyboard. A guy named Jose who taught himself how to produce. A guy by the name of Joe Quicks, the Latin soul brother. There was my man King Tech, the legendary King Tech, who's still my partner to this day, world famous wake up show myself.
I mean, what'd you do?
I was just being me. You know Heather B.
Conductor.
I spit bars, Heather B. You know I spit bars.
Bars, son.
Okay, but we all started off with all of those different individuals, and even Prince Ice. It eventually broke down to just King Tech and Sway, which is hard to keep people together, but we were chasing this dream. When I look at this group, I get that same feeling that I had back then. I remember they performed at Soundset, and you were telling me about this group, Heather B. I remember my daughter started telling me, Daddy, you got to know who they are, and she put me up on the Saturation series that they put out, and even music before that. And I started looking at each individual to see what made them different. And the thing I admire most about this crew is that not one individual is the same by the way they look, what their contributions are, whether they're doing graphic design, whether they're a manager, whether they're a beat producer, singer, rapper, whatever it may be, everybody contributes to this band. I want to welcome them here today. The new album, Ginger, is out now. Give it up for the one and only Brockhampton.
Let's get it.
What up, man?
Thank you.
That was an amazing intro. Thank you so much.
Seriously, thank you so much.
Romeo, thank you, man. You seem like you hard to impress, man. That was all right?
No, that was great. That's everything I ever wanted.
What's it? Dom, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah? I try to make it, you guys are a plethora of events, information, experiences that I think is indicative to what we're seeing in today's generation, what you speak about. Kev stepped out on a limb, and was very honest about his sexuality early on at a time when people would frown on that, or fold their arms to that. When I was growing up, you couldn't do that. You know what I mean? When we was coming up in hip hop, that wasn't tolerated.
Right.
And was it Junkie? What was the song? Yeah, the song Junkie. And you talked about your sexuality in that. I thought that was extremely brave. I thought that's what hip-hop needs. I think that's what built hip-hop, is having our own form of expression and our own representation. And you're making that normal. I mean, it was a funny-ass line I heard you say in there when you said I'm homophobic because I only like straight guys or something to that. Is that right?
Straight niggas.
Straight niggas. Okay, I didn't want to say that.
Be specific.
Come on, Sway.
Season's greetings.
And you're the founding member of the crew, right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, and I'm trying to ask you stuff that you haven't talked about a ton of times.
I feel like that don't matter because people don't actually know us yet, so we're down to say everything over and over and over again.
Repetition's the
Why I
mother of
fuck
learning.
with y'all, man. Thank you.
yeah.
Make my job so much easier than shit. All right. You met online, right?
Yes,
and in school.
Okay.
Yes,
exactly. A Kanye West fan forum.
Okay.
Half of us, the other half met in school or like at jobs and shit.
Like mutual friends,
Right,
whatnot.
exactly.
And how do you decide if a person could be a member of the band or not? Like, has there been any members that were turned down or any people that were turned down?
At first, it was just if you wanted to be a part of it, you were a part of it. Because I was like very lonely when I was 14. I moved to a new school and I wanted as many artists as possible that I could work with, basically. And over the years, we just like trimmed the fat. You know, it was like 40 people at first.
Yeah. Okay. How do you
wow.
trim the fat? Like, how do you say?
I mean, you just see who's like, who's not as focused or. You about to say something?
Yeah, like at the end of 2014, Kevin made a decision that he wanted all the people that wanted to be in the band to move to Texas. So that was like a big commitment for all of us that were online and on the internet because it's like if we didn't take that risk as a group, we wouldn't be here right now.
Wow, was that fair? Like, who's where you from, Merlin?
I'm from Ghana originally.
You're from Ghana?
I was raised in Texas.
You was raised in Texas.
Okay.
Who's from Connecticut? You're from Connecticut. The three of you guys are from Connecticut, right? And Matt, you're from Texas, right? Was that even fair that y'all had to uproot your lives to accommodate his?
Well, I mean, like everybody was moving to one place because none of us lived in San Marcos at that time. That was the spot that we all decided to because Joba was going to college at
Texas State.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't want to mess that up. But yeah, when
Joba
he was
the engineer.
Yeah, when he was going to school at Texas State, we all made the decision. Okay, if he's going to school for recording arts and technology, we might as well all go there. And then while he's learning, we can all hone our craft, hone our skills, and be ready for that next step.
Also, we didn't have it as bad as Bari or Bareface.
Yeah.
Where were you at?
Caribbean. I'm Grenadian. Born in
Wow.
Wow.
What did your parents say? They didn't think you were in a cult?
First off, they thought I was getting trafficked, honestly. Wow. They honestly like
Like
Bari,
sex
you don't know what you're getting yourself
Wow.
into, They didn't, honestly, my mom was the only one who was like, Bari, you definitely should come do this because she lived in America, and she's like someone that was big on chasing dreams, but like all my other family back home was mad practical. Niggas was like, you find that making sense, bro? Like that was the vibe.
That was the vibe.
Yeah.
But it worked out.
Yeah.
It worked out. I ain't mad at it.
Wow.
Also, I was once trimmed too. I was initially a part of the whole Brockhampton.
Okay, so
thing.
you had to audition almost.
Low key. Well, high key actually. High key.
High key?
Yeah, I had there was a point in time where I don't know what happened, but I didn't get the call. And I was mad depressed for like a solid week. I decided okay, I was like, this is my shot to get out of Grenada. The only way I could get out is like if I make like the hardest beats of my life.
Oh, wow.
You know? And those three beats that I made ended up becoming the first Brockhampton songs. So
here we are. Yeah, dreams come true, man. Round of applause for that. Marilyn, were you in school?
Wow.
Marilyn, were you in school at the time you became a member?
Merlin,
Yes.
I was going to the University of Texas School of Architecture. I dropped out twice.
Okay,
Twice?
you dropped out twice. You got behind in school, and then if you didn't, you decided, man, fuck it, let me just pursue this.
It was that, and it was also that, like, even though I love school and I think school's really important for everybody, like, I'm never going to stop learning.
Yeah.
I just felt a deeper calling.
And this is it.
This is it.
Okay. What you know about that peanut butter soup?
Amen.
That peanut butter soup. Ooh,
What you know about that? You say you Ghanaian, right?
It be curling my toes. That's what the peanut butter soup is. It's delicious.
One of my stepfathers was from Ghana, so he used to cook with all the spices in Oakland. Yeah, man. The fish head stew, all of that, man. Yeah.
You've had it before.
Yeah, man. But my stepfather was Ghanaian, so.
Oh.
Yeah, man. So I know a little bit about you too, Matt. Where you get your?
Not like Marlon.
You got a lot of not bravado. Maybe that's the wrong word, but you got a lot of swag about you. You got your attitude. Who was some of where did that come from? Where did you develop that?
When I first started listening to rap, I feel like I listened to a lot of New York, a lot of Houston rap, and then kind of like newer. So I listened to Big L, Mac Miller,
Damn. Okay.
Zero.
Okay. Woo, shit.
Zero.
That's our dude.
Outcast.
Uh-huh.
So it was a bunch of a mix of all that.
Yes, smorgasbord.
So I just really gravitated to all types.
All types.
Yeah.
The thing, I was talking with a friend of mine. Y'all know Jay Pope. You know, right? That's a good friend of mine. Yeah, we came up in the game together. And one of the things we both agreed on, what I like about just even listen to y'all music and the evolution of your music from saturation, era distance to now, is that one of the comments I made to him listening to this Ginger album is I can't guess what's next. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of music is so formulaic. You know, there's going to be those 8, 12, 16 bars, maybe a bridge if you're lucky, into a hook, and then back to the same old thing. You guys' music it's just constantly, to me, it's just changing. I'm finding new energy as it goes along. Joba, I'm going to direct this. Well, maybe I should go to Bari and Joba. You're the engineer. How do you approach making music? Like, is it just all instinct and impulse, or how would you say it?
I would just say following the feeling. Just, it's like life. As you move through it, things happen, good things, bad things. You have a feeling, and it's a response. Music makes me feel the same way. That's why I've dedicated my life to it. It makes me feel a certain clarity within those feelings that I can't seem to find outside of that process.
For
sure. And it's just like trust. It's just trust. It's like trusting your heart, trusting instinct.
Trusting instincts.
And yeah, just overcoming things too,
We'll get into that, man. I listen to songs, let me see, like, let's start, okay, well, no Halo, but then you'll hear a song called Victor Roberts, and those things are two totally different sounding type of songs. The way you mix like samples over live instrumentation, over loops, over how did y'all learn that to make? Because people don't mix that well.
I don't know where we learned that from. I see a good bit of it. I would say comes from Kanye. Cause Kanye was good at.
Kanye a round of applause.
He was great at like introducing like these small little details that would like overall make the song bigger.
All the nuances and shit. Yeah.
I don't know what it is though. I think it has a lot to do with like our influences and what we listen to and just the different type of cultures and just trying to figure out a way to make a musical representation of that per se, I would say, yeah. And also a lot of it is just like, as you say, instinct. It just, if that's what feels like should happen,
Just rock with it.
A lot of collaboration. It just comes from like a bunch of people who have, it's like a giant Venn diagram. We have a bunch of overlapping tastes, but then there's some shit that they listen to that I've never heard in my life and vice versa. So when you mash all that together, you get something unexpected.
They complement each other.
Yeah,
it's like a melting pot.
Are y'all studio sessions like 24 hours? Because you have so many different, like, you know what I mean, brains coming together. Like, where do you begin? How does it usually kick off?
I would say so, like 24 hours in the case that like I might not be working, but Romeo might be working on a song, or Kiko might be working on a song.
Yeah.
So it's never like set time. It just is literally just feeling. Sometimes the vibe might hit at 3 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes it might hit at 2 p.m. Sometimes 10 a.m. like Matt, Romeo, and Ian like early in the morning. It depends on what vibe we're in, what mood we're in, you know, and we bounce off of that, I'd say.
And to that point, I feel like energy can be extremely infectious.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And that is definitely the case amongst us. And there's always something you can dive into.
Okay.
I can always definitely find a way to feed off of another one of my peers in some way, shape, or form in this group. And then also just like the recording philosophy that we have. The mic's always hot. No one's not allowed to touch anything in the studio. So like if Bari's making a beat and I hear like literally like one sound effect on his keyboard, I can just like boop boop, and like he doesn't mind. He's not gonna like stop me from doing that. You know what I'm saying? And it might end up in a song, it might not end up in a song. It doesn't matter.
I'm
you know what I mean?
obsessed with this.
Like also like we'll have moments where it's like, someone might record like a 32, but we only use 4 bars from that 32, repeat it twice, and that's the hook now. You know what I mean? Like it's a lot.
Sometimes that really sucks.
Yeah, for real.
Until you live with it and you realize, I don't know, the synchronicity.
Yeah.
Trust.
That's that trust.
Like
that,
hindsight 2020 in the creative process.
Wow.
Well, that's devoid of ego.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, like, cause you can't. That's rare that you could get in a studio and somebody touch your beat and you're like, hey, what the fuck, but y'all not doing, even because y'all got multiple people who make beats, obviously Kiko too, right? If yours doesn't get chosen, how does that work with you guys? Like if it's
You gotta make another one.
Yeah, you're gonna be hurt for a little bit, but you gotta make another
Yeah.
one.
Wow.
Okay.
It's like Goku and Vegeta, how they keep trying to one up each other. That's how me keep going Barry.
Yeah, okay, so y'all go at it then, huh?
We go at it.
I definitely do.
Bareface, huh? Yeah,
Hey.
yeah, man, why they call you that, dog? I don't see it. Where you from, Ireland?
Yeah, I'm from Ireland. I'm from
Yes.
Belfast, Northern Ireland.
Yeah, what's the scene like? I've been to Dublin, kid. Come
Oh,
on, man. I've
shit,
been to
okay.
Guinness.
All right.
Come on, I went out there with who did I go out there with
I don't know.
Kelly
You ain't
Kay.
take me. Shit, I wasn't there.
okay.
You start hating because you didn't go. I don't know who you went with. Shit.
I went with Katy Perry.
Oh, that's that
Had to
bullshit,
stun on
Sway.
them, man. You know, let y'all know who y'all talking to here.
Okay, Flex.
Okay, it's just a little bit, just a tidbit. So your role is vocals, but you also you play instruments, right?
Yeah. I play like guitar and bass and stuff. Like produce a little bit. I started off producing, but not so much. Now I'm more like focused on songwriting and shit. But
Yeah. Okay. How the kid from Ireland get to Texas, man?
I actually met Romil in New York in like 2013, like randomly at like a studio session. We just like knew this kid from Twitter. We both knew, and then we like just like I went there and I played some beat. Or no, he played a beat, and I was like, "Oh, those drums are fire." And he was like, "Oh, I'll send you them." And then we just like kept talking ever since then. And then he put me in a group chat with
Send him my
Ian
drums.
and everyone
Rest
on
is history.
Facebook and shit.
Yeah.
So,
And that's how it came together.
yeah.
HK, man. So you play a very important role, right? What do they give you a title, or they just,
I
The GOAT.
I handle the non-music stuff.
like imaging?
Yeah.
Creative king.
Creative, like covers, album covers,
all the graphics and all the visual stuff.
and all of that. It must be a lot to draw from with all of these guys. Is that an easy process for you, or does that make it more difficult?
No, it's not difficult. It's kind of like what Ramil said, because we all have different tastes, and like I said, like it all overlaps. So you can find like new things to like draw from, whether we're all going through the same thing, or if like I'm just going through something, or like I'm just talking to Ian or anybody, and I can just draw inspiration from there, and like things that we're all into at the moment or something. You know what I'm saying? Like it's so much you could pull from. It's not even overwhelming. It's more fun, if anything.
Okay. And John, you a manager?
Yeah.
Okay, great. All right, so not just
Not much there to work with.
yo, that's fucking hard as hell, man. Like you gotta manage this. You're managing this. What's wrong with you, man? You don't want to sleep? What's going on, man?
No, I sleep when I can.
You sleep when you
I'm doing my
can.
best.
Do y'all ever get into fights? Like anybody? Like how does that get dealt with?
Right.
We be fighting.
Like
Brothers
physical?
quarrel?
Yeah.
Physical?
No.
Oh, we got that knockout. We got that knockout punch. No. Nah.
HK breaks the fights up.
HK breaks the fight.
Yeah, man, I'm just a man of peace, man. You know
You're just
what
a
I'm
man
saying?
of peace.
Man, come on, man.
I have a
We can talk
question.
about it.
Have you guys ever had a woman be a part of it? A self-identified woman? Has that ever been brought up? Has anyone ever wanted to volunteer themselves?
People have expressed interest.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
it just didn't pan out that way in the beginning.
Right.
We're definitely not opposed to working with women, obviously. But yeah, we just have a really tight brotherhood. It's nothing necessarily, we never want to exclude anybody. It's just,
Right.
this is kind of just the way it worked out.
Yeah.
It's very tight knit.
Do you guys know Deb Never is?
Put that mic on.
Do you know who Deb Never is?
She's on the
on
No
No
Halo.
Halo,
joint,
yeah.
right? Yeah, she's incredible.
I consider her like a part of the group. So.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
Like people who come, they're definitely
There's like
met with
a-
open arms. Always. Anyone we work with.
And I feel that. I guess like the curiosity, because I'm just wondering if it would be possible to see this type of collective done with all women.
I think it's possible.
I'd love to see that.
I would
You
love to
know?
see that.
Fucking dope.
That'd be incredible.
I agree.
I'm looking at. Shit, there's so many. Who did Victor Roberts?
That
Victor Roberts.
yeah, my boy Victor actually is the person rapping at the beginning of that song.
Okay,
he's not technically a member of BH.
He's part of the extended family.
He's like part of our extended family, like everyone else. I've known him for about 10 years now,
Okay.
and he didn't have the means to take the time to record or work on his own music because of his family situation. His mom has dementia, and his father just retired. So literally, like, he put the last maybe 6 or 7 years of his life on hold as an artist to take care of them. I've known him through that entire time. We actually met playing video games online and stuff like that before I even moved to California. So when I moved out there, we started linking up, hanging out and stuff like that. He came to the house in May and was like, yo, I have this thing I want to show you. And I knew him as a producer. So he shows me this rap, and like halfway through it, we're just sitting on the porch. I'm like pulling my fucking hair out. I'm like, yo, like we need to do something with this immediately. Like this is your story, dog. Like I want to help you tell it. So I did everything in my power, and my like all of my bandmates and all my friends were gracious enough to like allow him to have an opportunity to like close the album out with his story. And I think that like I think that's like one of the most important things you can do as an artist is pass the fucking mic sometimes.
Absolutely.
Gosh, I can't believe he just said that shit, man. Damn, you are absolutely 120%. That's hip hop.
Yeah.
Kid. Like
Wise
pass the
words.
mic. Damn. That was really kind of y'all, because that story is crazy. I was gonna ask you, is that truly like that's a true
that's
story?
his true story from like I think he was like between like 6 and 8 years old in Silver Lake Motel. So I mean, he tells it better than I ever would, but like as his friend, I do feel a responsibility to like let everybody know that that is my friend. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Brockhampton is here, 888-742-3345. I've Been Born Again is dope too. Who's on that?
It's like
That's
everybody.
Joe,
Right?
everybody's on that.
Brockhampton.
Brockhampton is on
Brockhampton's
that.
Yes, sir.
What does that mean? Like when I think born again, I think being dipped in water and baptized. What did that mean to you guys?
It means the same thing to me.
Okay, same thing. Kev?
Yeah, same thing.
Same thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Have y'all been? Do you feel like what do you think baptized? Like I know you guys have been dealing with a lot of success, but you've been dealing with a lot of adversity as well, especially with Ameer. What happened with Ameer and him being let go from the group? Is this Ginger album kind of a born again statement in itself? Kev, would you comment on that? What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's just a reset for me. It's funny because like I've been telling everyone before the album came out that it's like a really happy and uplifting album. Then we put it out and everybody's like, this album's sad as hell. So I feel like I'm kind of delusional in a way, you know what I mean? Like I assumed it was like this really happy thing, but it's mad dark, and I don't know. I love it though. Yeah, it feels like a rebirth.
It feels like a rebirth, right?
Yeah, it does.
You know what I took away from it? But probably I've been on the planet a little longer than a lot of folks. You know what I mean? I didn't see it. I saw it as I think all adversity is learnable moments.
Yes.
Right.
You know, and
Absolutely.
so what I felt was, man, these dudes went through the fucking ringer out of nowhere. You know, I mean, all this energy was on Brockhampton, all this positive energy was happening, and that moment happened with those allegations about him. And then you had to deal with it, and it's almost like, damn, man, after going through all this shit, here's what we got to say. And then you have a song like Dearly Departed. Is that dedicated to that scenario with Ameer being let go from the group, or is it more than, is it something different?
For me, it just, you know, like what Joba was saying, it gets tied back to brotherhood. And I was just thinking about how do you survive through moments like that? You know? And
put that mic up on you a little more. Okay.
Yeah, that's
There
pretty
you go,
much
there
that's
you
pretty
go.
much all I gotta say. I don't know for that one.
That's all?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You tired of talking about that one?
I ain't really talked about it yet. I'm trying to see how I'm supposed to talk about
Man,
it.
just from the
Yeah.
heart, man.
Exactly.
It's no judgment. It's just it's happened, and it's life. It's not the first time it's happened to folks.
Life is complicated.
Life is complicated, and I think life deals you this stuff so you can learn and grow. And when I
Yeah.
listen to this Ginger album, compared to Saturation 1, 2, 3, and Iridescence, each time, for me at least, for what I listen for, I hear the growth. So to me, it's almost like, damn, they went through this, and now they're growing. But I'm trying to find out, how did you deal with it? Because other folks go with similar things. When you might have a brother or sister in your clique that is accused or does something that you don't necessarily agree with, and you got to deal with it, you know.
I feel like it's way different to deal with it though when people aren't looking. You know?
Okay. What do you mean?
I mean, we were, like you said, all this hype and energy around Brockhampton. So like the way that we handled our situation is definitely gonna be way different to like how someone would handle it with a family member.
Good point.
So what I'm trying to say is I don't have the best advice for that situation.
For sure.
You know what I
Do
mean?
y'all stay in touch with him at all?
Not really.
No?
No,
Okay.
not personally.
I don't.
Okay. All right, cool. Well, got to move on then.
Yeah.
All right.
Growing.
All right, growing. Man, I didn't mean to put a damper on the mood, man.
No, it's good. It's all
totally
right.
cool, man.
It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, like, also the way that we like solve our problems as a group is we communicate. Like, we are always talking. Like, when all this stuff went down, we all went to Hawaii and like had as a group and just had like some moments where it was like literally we talked the entire night. Yeah. We didn't do anything but talk.
It was like a retreat.
Friday therapy.
Friday therapy. That's amazing, man. I wish I was this.
It's a dope name for an album.
Friday therapy. That's you like that, Heather? Mm-hmm. Okay. Can Heather B get on it?
No.
The
next one, let's go.
Of course.
Come through.
All right. We're gonna open up these phone lines 888-742-3345.
We talking to the people, man.
We're gonna talk to the people, man. We got Sharif on the line from Chicago. Hold on, let me make sure I can do it. Yeah. Sharif, what up, brother?
Sharif, what's popping?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Good morning. Long time listener. Love you guys. I appreciate what you guys do for the culture. I'm sitting there listening to the interview, and I just want to commend the guys. You guys are articulate. You guys are intelligent. It's a refreshing interview. You guys are not sitting up there, oh, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You guys are refreshed. I appreciate that. I have never heard of you guys, but after I get off the phone with you guys, after the interview goes off, I'm most definitely going to look you guys up. So I just want to
thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for that.
That's all we can ask for.
Yeah, man. Go back and go check all their discography out. Matter of fact, I want to play a song off the app. Let's play No Halo.
Woo.
Okay,
I love that.
The video. Who came up with the video concept?
Our friend Spencer Ford.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
And so y'all just followed his lead, or
basically, yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, we definitely trusted him on that one.
He sent us a little video treatment, which kind of did it in a unique way. Like made a video of the treatment, so when you're watching the video, you know how the video is going to look before you make the video. And we were in Japan, and everyone liked the idea. Got back to LA, and we shot it
the day we
2
got
days before it was supposed to come out.
Yeah. And HK stayed up all night editing it.
Yeah. Why y'all do that to HK, man?
He gets the game ball. He gets the game ball.
Yeah, HK gets the game ball for that.
Let's talk about that on the phone, man.
Okay, go on.
The phone lines. Why they doing that?
Why they do that to you, HK, man?
No, it came out amazing. Yeah, I got the last clip at 1 a.m. and we had to, like 3 a.m. I got it from John, and then I had to literally the whole day I had to edit and then upload it by 6 or 5 p.m. 4 p.m. I don't even know. I forgot time at this point.
He's still delirious right there, man.
Still delirious. I don't know about time.
It was like one of those moments where, like, literally as he clicked upload, the shit went live.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Instead of...
It was close, man. It was
yeah,
close.
we actually late. We were doing an interview. They were like, HK, go home and edit. Like, don't do this interview. Like, I was editing the Uber.
No shit.
On my mom.
He was editing at the station, too.
I was editing at the station.
At the radio station. Like, yeah.
Oh, mommy.
You know what's great, though, that you guys have total autonomy, though. It's nobody to tell y'all no when it comes to creativity, right?
For real.
Yeah, y'all make the final decisions, right?
Always.
Yep, always.
Yes.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Thank you, RCA.
There you go. Shout out to RCA. Honestly.
Yeah, they let us do whatever we want.
Yeah, they got to. You have people at RCA that I know that I known before they were working at RCA. Love the culture, love music, understand they don't treat artists like they're subhuman. They, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
right, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I fuck with them.
Yeah, so,
Derek and
Tunji.
Tunji.
No, good people, man. I want to play No Halo.
Yeah.
Okay, and then y'all did a great job because No Halo got a certain vibe to it, a certain feel, and sometimes that doesn't translate on video. And I felt like I was in a dream when that video first came on.
That's
so
rad. That's really cool.
Yeah, so this is No Halo, Sway in the Morning. Brockhampton is here, 888-742-3345.
If I gotta take the hat.
Yeah. Sometimes you don't know where you're going, man. Just got to get there, Heather B.
What are you doing?
I just felt like this is a track I should be talking over.
Okay, go ahead. Let me hear it. Let's hear it.
Sometimes you got to trust your heart. Sometimes you got to trust your impulses. Just be happy to where they take you.
Yo, No Halo remix with Sway. Dropping soon.
Spoken word.
I'll drop some shit on your shit. I'm Brockhampton, the extended team.
Did you hear
that?
Welcome. Yes.
Was that a note at the end of it that you did?
That you heard that?
Yeah, was it? Oh, wow.
Hey.
I like her voice, man.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah,
She's so cool.
She's incredible. Brockhampton are here. Sway in the Morning Shaper.
Yep.
We've been trying to get these dudes on the show for so long, and just kind of all of a sudden happened. And I'm glad it did, man. I think you guys are so important to music, but I understand that it's more than just music with you guys. That's what I'm seeing. It's music could be that catalyst, to so many. Y'all have so many different talents. You guys are like a corporation almost, or in a positive way. I'm just go ahead.
Yeah, no, not to cut you. I have a question. Someone mentioned not getting a phone call and sort of maybe being depressed for a week. I think you mentioned that. Sometimes people can go into a panic when that happens, especially artists. You don't know what to do. If any of you don't mind, did you have a B plan if you didn't get the call? Like, was somebody going to be a teacher or a FedEx worker? Or
I was going to be an accountant. I was legit thinking about it for like, damn, I missed it. That was it. Guess I just got to be an accountant.
Wow.
You worked at a bank, right?
Yeah, I worked at a bank.
Bari's the only college graduate in the group.
Wow.
That's true.
Wow.
Anybody else B plan?
To that point, I'd like to clarify something. You asked me if I was self-taught as a mix engineer.
Yeah.
And Dom had mentioned that I went to Texas State to study sound recording technology. I didn't get in.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah, so,
shit. Yeah.
I love music.
Uh-huh.
Studied opera, like music, voice.
Uh-huh.
But, we moved to LA shortly after that.
Do you remember
Do
you remember what your instructor said to you when you did your final or whatever like that?
Oh yeah.
Crazy, right?
Yeah, it was really weird. I had all these songs ready to perform. It's what's called a vocal jury. It's like the final, and different languages. I was really stressed about one piece in particular that was in French, and they let me pick the song, and then they asked me to play one of my piano ballads, which was shocking to me. And then they said, "Don't forget about us when you get your Grammy."
Wow.
Wow.
And that meant a lot to me, and
I still remember that shit.
It also meant a lot. It also meant a lot to my mom.
Yeah. Yeah.
'Cause
Well, y'all have had a
wanted to
number
write my
one
mom.
album though, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's your Grammy. Shit.
Wow.
In case you
I
don't.
didn't get into any. I got rejected from all the music schools I applied to.
Yeah,
as
I got
well.
rejected from my design program.
Wow.
Crazy.
HK.
They sleeping.
Yeah.
Sleeping.
I applied to music school here. I applied to NYU and I didn't get in. I was like, okay, fuck it. Let me just. I'll move. I'll figure it out.
Right when Kevin asked me to go to Texas, I was in my last one design class, and the teacher told me listen, you're gonna fail regardless, even if you keep coming to class or not. So this is midway through the semester. He's like, you're not gonna get into the program. So if you want to drop this class now, you can. And I'm like, okay, well, I mean, if I'm gonna come to this class, my parents still think no, I'm going to school. So what I did was I would fake going to school. I would go to the library, Starbucks, and do commission jobs, freelance design jobs to save money to move to Texas for the last.
Shit, he was lying to his
semester.
parents.
I really hope.
I was, and I hope my mom don't see this, but
she will.
I was just gonna say the opposite. I
she
hope
already knows.
millions of people watch this because I think we sometimes depend and rely so heavily on another person's word, that third voice sometimes, and and you believe in yourself and you know that you have a gift, and sometimes it's just hard trying to navigate through this business on this road, and then people standing at the gate telling you no, stop now, quit now, and then sometimes you may turn around and go back, but clearly all of y'all did the right thing, so I'm so glad that y'all were able to share this because it's incredible and I think it's super inspirational. Thank you for sharing that.
Brockhampton here. I'm going to come to you, Tracy, in 1 second. Karen's on the line from Georgia. I'm going to take these callers real quick, 888-742-3345.
Karen.
Hey, good afternoon.
Good
Morning.
afternoon.
Hello.
Hey, Karen.
What you like to say?
Hey, guys. First of all, I'm going to start with I am an old head, so Rock M and Main Source is what I'm used to. But I have a 15-year-old that actually introduced me to your music because I try to keep her geared towards things that are positive and relative to, future life. With that being said, she played No Halo for me. And I'm a mental health, and I can work on your care plan and tell you what you need to do. But when you hear it in other formats and from other avenues, especially younger people, it just resonates better, and it's made my job more. I've been successful across the board. So I just wanted to shout out and say good job, especially from such young guys.
Thank you, man. Thanks for
Thank
sharing.
you for doing that.
That-
Wow.
Damn, Karen.
You're also doing a really good and worthy job, so thank you.
That's what's up, Karen. You're a citizen, Karen.
Sway in the morning.
All right, but
Appreciate you.
make sure you get the whole album, though. All right, Janae is in Mississippi. Don't just do No Halo. There's other songs on the album. Janae,
Ginger.
Hey, Janae.
what you want to say?
Y'all. Hey guys.
Hey,
What's up?
Janae.
What's up?
Hey.
Hey. Okay, so first off, my little brother goes to Texas State, so I've always been super intrigued with how you guys got together. And I saw you guys at ACL last October, and may I just say, your energy and your live show absolutely blew me away. You guys were amazing. And then I also saw you guys at Bonnaroo this summer, and I just really wanted to give you guys props. They just keep doing what you're doing. Y'all are so fun and so refreshing. And anyway, I just love you guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
Appreciate
so
it.
much.
Thank you for coming to those shows.
Cool, man. That's what's up, man. You get the album, Janae.
I'm on it. I'm on it
Okay,
as
okay.
of today.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Call back when you got it. All right. Corey is in New York. Go ahead, Corey.
What up,
Hey,
Corey?
Hey, Corey.
Can you hear me?
Screaming Ginger. He can't hear us.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear
Good
you.
morning.
Okay, sorry about that. Yo, yeah, big fan. Sway, we met before at a bar in New York, so it's cool to be talking to you again. Brockhampton, I've been a big fan since Saturation. I saw you guys at Bonnaroo as well last summer. I was trying to decide if I wanted to stay up until 1:30 in the morning to see you guys because I'm a lightweight. By midnight I'm done. But I stayed up, and it was the best show I've seen at any music festival, period.
Wow, thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you.
Thank you, bro.
You guys had so much energy.
Wait, hold up, dude. The best show at any music festival, period.
He said it, Sway.
He said that. He did say it, right? He did say
He
it.
didn't stutter when he
that.
said it.
I believe he said
I think
it.
I heard it.
I
I heard it through the headphones.
You heard that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to make sure.
How come you didn't want to repeat? He said he saw you at a bar.
Corey, you're a citizen, Corey. You're a citizen.
Which Brockhampton did you see at the bar?
All right, man. Okay, hey, so this is what I don't know what happened to my mic. My mic, 1 2 1 2. All right, Tracy, these guys, since they're here, I want to do your question after they do this one. We got Brockhampton in the motherfucking Valley of the Hyenas. There's no way these dudes are walking out this room without something going down. Come on, we've been waiting for this for years. I don't care. We could fight. I don't care. All right, yo. So, man, look, we're gonna throw this beat on real quick, and I was hoping we gotta pass the headphones around though.
Who want it first? Who want it? We could do musical chairs. Let's go.
Okay, we don't need the headphones. You don't need the headphones. All right. Brockhampton is here, ladies and gentlemen. Sway in the morning. Shade 4-5, Ginger. Let's get it, baby. Who's gonna be first to rock? DJ Wonder, Sway in the morning. Yo, Cortez, work that room for me.
Yeah.
Shout Sway in the morning.
What up, Sway?
Yes.
Ginger.
Hey. Yo. Oh, Merlin.
Oh.
Mic check. Mic check.
Hey.
Mic check.
Hey.
It's checking.
Mic check.
It's checking.
Mic check.
One, two.
Mic check.
One, two.
Mic check.
Came up in this bitch, Sway, and I ain't used protection. There's a whole lot of us. Think we need another section. Shout out 4 Strikes, shout out Brian, shout out Preston. Look, this is just my first impression. Let me give you a lesson.
Hey,
look.
We the best man. I am Mr. Batman. My name Mr. Merlin.
Say Merlin.
Like Mr. Trash Man.
The Trash Man.
That's your album. You could sell 2 if you press a double album.
Yeah.
Sucking on kinky binkies. They put the coke in their derriere. We drink milk straight from the titties. She call me daddy, play truth or dare. Truth or dare? Lacitric acid on gummy bears. Sour and sweet like the Chinese chicken. If the booty bouncing, I stop and stare. I don't know what else to say. Somebody else go, hey. Dummy. Hey. Dummy.
I'ma get it now.
Just go.
Said Shane
change your clothes like for real and Jay. Probably wearing how I feel today. Bootleg Versace patterns on the platter. We serving these niggas like B2K. Rolling for place to go MIA. Barry got Visa, he here to stay. Niggas is talking, they do not play. I came for keeps like I'm Dollar Dame. Niggas know I do not play when I run in this beat. Niggas know I be running in these streets like I'm a vagabond. Everything I do, I fucking get vagabond.
Do what I want. Yeah. Guess what I do what I want.
Yeah.
I see it, I like it. Now it's in my pockets.
Brockhampton.
Off the top.
Yeah.
Shut up. I'm off the top and I'm off the top. Do it shit off the top.
Yeah.
She wanna stop you, tell me.
Yeah.
I'm not that naughty.
You a freak.
Ooh.
Ginger Radio.
Ginger Radio.
Give me more flavor.
Okay.
More flavor, baby. More flavor.
Good morning, man. Good morning.
HK.
HK.
Go ahead, HK.
HK.
Yes. Please.
Give me more flavor.
Let's go.
You can do it, dog. Okay. Brockhampton on Sway.
Hey.
Nog, okay. You know the nigga rapping HK. I got an HK. And I got an AK. I'm watching any day. You just gonna say okay. I'm gonna the camera up front, man. You know I'm about to be on YouTube. You ain't see me on YouTube. I don't know what to do, bro. I don't know what to do, dude. I'm just rapping on Sway. He's gonna take it away. You got it? Mic check, mic check. Yeah. Mic check, mic check. Brockhampton never threatened. No. Never feel pressure from the threat. I could have been Nas, I'm more like Lil Nas X. Hey, Sway, we got it, bro. Heather B, we got it. We good, right? That's enough, right?
That's serious.
That's enough, right?
All day. Nah, y'all good, though. Y'all good.
Man, I'm over here in
Yeah, that's dope, man.
I could have been Nas, but I'm more like Lil Nas X.
That killed him. You killed him. Yo, Dom threw in the word vagabond in his rap. I was like, how you gonna rhyme that shit? Damn, man, that was tough. Trace, you got one more question?
They were asking for
Y'all want one more beat?
Like something old.
Some
Okay.
classic New York.
Barry said something dusty.
Dusty.
New York shit.
Like
between the lines.
like how
fight crime.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I got the bar.
You hear that bar?
Okay. Don't do that.
Okay.
I love that, my D.
Okay, here we go.
J. Rue? J. Rue the Damager?
I'm right here, baby.
Right.
I'm right here, baby.
Right.
Give it to me, I take it away like a thief in the night, yeah. You know me.
Yeah. Out of way.
RLYN. I do this rap shit without trying. Dodging any obstacle.
Hold up. Yo. Give me Quiet Storm.
Okay. That one too dusty a little bit.
You said
What you wish for.
Yeah, bro.
That's crazy.
Give me some fresh beats, bro. Give me some fresh.
Okay, you want a classic? Y'all want a classic hip hop joint? Shit. Yo, shit.
Mike to Kev.
You feeling that, Kev? I know you feeling that, Kev.
I can do something.
Bounce, baby. Bounce, baby. Bounce, baby. Bounce.
Watching my life change in front of my eyelids. Sing without a God, I represent for the hybrids. Was riding out through the city with something hit me just to go in and say fuck anybody not coming with me, cause it's only one of me. Without y'all there be 50 niggas really must be silly. I could break it down so simply to a point where you would think you're an idiot for not getting what I say. What can I say, man? I'm a rap genius. King flow, only accept the queens on my penis. Iceman, you can see frost on every inklet. Rolling up the greenest, stop see shit you couldn't dream. Saw my life upon the floor and went to go pick up the pieces.
It's the real.
I really broke it down like I was a Mob Deep with the quiet sound. Quiet storm when I go with the final form. Everybody know I'm spitting in my final form.
Final form? Yeah, you see me, bro. I use a hair, blonde hair like Vegeta. I use a that reefer. But I ain't smoked today, Sway. House Sway. Sway, are you okay? Somebody tell me. I'm hot, somebody tell me.
Bitch, I took my dogs that I got a ball. I'm from Texas, so it's all of y'all. Catch me. Bitch, that's a trust fund.
Yes.
The new album is Ginger. Make
Nice.
sure you support it, man. You dudes are amazing.